Good morning, everybody. We are standing in front of City Hall. And Chris, tell us why we're standing in front of City Hall.
Because we needed a location to film. No, there's a couple reasons for it. There's a couple reasons for it, right? We've enjoyed hosting the city for the information sessions the last couple weeks, and all the information's online if you missed those.
And that's for the water treatment
That's
plant.
for the water, about the water treatment.
Yeah.
Very excited for that project to be finished, but we understand the nature of everything today. There's delays. I follow online a fake BC Ferries account, and their number one recurring tweet is expect delays, because that's what the ferries are like. That's what every building project is like. We expect delays. It's life. We move on. But the other thing is that you're probably driving around town, you see all those election signs, and we thought, we're never going to tell you how to vote, but we would love to encourage you to do some, get informed, decide who you want to vote for, and then remember to vote on coming up in October.
Yep.
And I know, I get sick of those signs, but you know what? It is a good reminder to do some research and figure out, because we love West Kelowna, we love our city, and that's part of it. But also to remind you to pray for our city officials, because one, they do good work. It's hard work. Not many of us would actually want to do it, and so we should be supporting them in prayer, and so that's what we just want to encourage you with today. I
feel like we've said the phrase before on Coffee Talk. Be good citizens.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's kind of what we're trying to say too. Is that it's a good thing to be involved, to be informed, to be encouraging, to be a part of what's happening. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it helps us pray better too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have the benefit of living in an incredible place, and with great reward comes great expectation. I think that's the line, isn't it?
Spider-Man?
I know it's not. Anyways, so that's all we wanted to say. This morning is,
That's all we wanted to say about this location. So
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. So looking back, Sunday we got to the kind of the climactic passage in Mark where...
So it's all downhill from here?
No, it's a climax. I was very careful to say it wasn't the climax, because the climax is still coming. Though,
it's still the cross, right?
It's still the cross, right? And it's so much to come. But
the resurrection is.
We've been leading up to this, and we watched that video that talked about the first half is about who Jesus is, and then Peter gets it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, right? He doesn't really
He thinks he gets it.
Yeah, and he uses the right words, but does he understand the words? So, we talked about that a little bit, and that if Jesus is the Messiah, if he is the King of the universe, then there's consequences to how we think about life and how we live, and so we talked a little bit about that. Is there anything that stood out to you guys at all from the...
I was loving the fact that they ended the whole thing at what felt like really abruptly, because the whole thing is finishing with the question. Because I think what Mark is trying to do, what Jesus ultimately is trying to do, but even what the video was trying to show us was, you got to answer that question in every moment of every day, and respond with, who do you say Jesus is? So who is Jesus right now? In this moment in your life, in this situation, in this difficulty, in this whatever situation you're finding yourself, you got to answer that question. Is it the hero with the sword, or is it the hero with the arms, right? And it's got to be true to Scripture, not just what I need, or not just what I see, or not just what I long for, like Peter and all of the Israelites were feeling for hundreds of years, that they were kind of getting kicked around, and they were not, the big guys on top like they were back in David and Saul's day. So, I just really loved the ending of that video, where it just kind of said, okay, now it's your turn. Go figure out, go understand, go think about, who is this Jesus, and what is he calling you to be?
Absolutely. I think that's. I would have said something very similar. I think one of the things on my mind is too, when you think about Mark's audience, right? If he is writing to the Church of Rome, like some people think, then imagine being in that perspective, right? And
Yeah.
you're surrounded by that empire in a different way, and it's so easy to lose sight of because we're distant from it, right? We don't have that same oppressive view. We don't in any way. Because I would just sort of say, in all the best of moments, I think that's for me when it's easiest to forget who Jesus is, right? In the absolute best moments of life, we go, yes, I did it. Or as we forget his role in all of that too. And so I think,
Yeah. And to Peter, it sounds absurd that he would not take care of the external circumstances. But Jesus came to do the external after the internal, like he was going to do the internal work that would then transform people. And it's just, it is amazing how Mark put the book together, right? And how Jesus was just so always on purpose. Everything he did. Even just the way he asked the first question, who do people say I am? He was preparing the disciples, right? He didn't want them to mimic what other people were saying. Who do people say I am? Oh yeah, this, and this. Okay, what about you, right? Like,
And what's interesting, and he didn't, I love, not only is Jesus, he makes the most of every opportunity.
Yes.
And I think we can lose sight of that too.
Yes.
He doesn't let anything just go to waste. What's interesting too is we also have in Mark different times where God breaks in and says, this is who Jesus is.
Yeah, we're coming up to one of those.
Right. I know, I don't, no spoilers. But it happened at his baptism. And it comes again and again. And the disciples were without excuse. They should have known exactly who he was and what he was about. But we all miss it at times.
That's one of the things I love about the disciples is that they're so real and maybe they should have got it. But as soon as I say that, I have to recognize, they're actually a picture of me. I don't get it, right? Like what don't I get? Like we always have to, we can't be like, that person that I know should listen to this. We should be like, well, what do I, what do I need to take? And what is Jesus saying to me? So it's great. So this Sunday coming up is another difficult passage for us to hear. We're going to talk about that, but it's good. And then it leads into the...
Well, I was going to say, so we have a difficult sermon and then we have soup to comfort ourselves. Is that what this is about, Jeff?
That was a great segue, Chris. I really like that. So yes, we're going to commiserate
great.
in our bowls of soup, And you'll be back with the, you got to tell us about what you're doing this weekend.
I think I did in the opening. We are camping as a youth group.
Oh, okay,
you guys didn't know I started recording this way before you ever clapped and said we're rolling. No, the youth group are camping this weekend out at Fintree, and which is for me always one of the highlights of the year. I think it is for most of our youth. It's gonna be beautiful and gorgeous. It'll just be chilly.
I'm sorry, it's cold for me right now. Just think you're gonna be by that fire.
We will have fire.
That's great.
Fire. And we will have. It'll just be it's always a fun weekend just to kind of get out of. I was going to say get out of our element, but really we got into the elements, and it's great. No, it's going to be a great weekend. So then
get back.
We're aiming to come back in time for soup. That's our goal. We don't have the best track record of being on time because packing up the whole campsite in the morning can take quite a while. But
that's all right. That means we get enough for all of us because youth don't come back and eat it all.
They'll just clean up.
Exactly.
They just hand every student a pot.
So no, there should be plenty, and that's just a reminder that you don't need to bring anything. This is for you to come and enjoy. Stay afterwards. We'll be sharing some fundraising stuff that we need to do around the building, but those are good. Okay, well, we hope you have a great week. God bless you, and we'll talk to you Sunday and next week and whenever we see you.